So, can you introduce more about yourself?
Wow, how? Okay. I work on this field for. Okay, I'm a tech plus design. So, if you consider tech background, 17 years really in the industry. No need so new one. I put here. I think can record one. Usability and UX is been 12 years. So I started out as. I joined a company first, be a UX project manager for about a year plus, and then I co-founded a company with one of the directors ourselves for 2 years. Didn't really work out well, but we worked on quite a fair bit of projects. Then I decided to work on myself. So I started my own company in 2008. So I do the spectrum of work I do is all the way from defining what's the business about, to deriving the strategy, to do research, and then do design, prototype, and even some projects I do implementation with technical partners. So end to end. That's what I do. Then run a company now is 10 years already. Then other capacity is I started the UX Singapore community. It's been 8 years. We started with 4 of my interns from Norway, but now has grown to 5,000 plus people in the community. So we run monthly events to help people to learn from each other of various formats. We get speakers to share, we run workshops, we do a lot now more on peer-to-peer learning, we call open space or call Lean Coffee, get people together to discuss topic and deep dive a little bit more. I formed a volunteer team. I ran 3 conferences in Singapore already, 2013, 2014 and 2016. We are probably the largest community group in UX in Singapore. And other capacity is there's an international association on UX. This is how I found out about it when I first started my career in this area. I flew all the way to US to understand, to learn all this knowledge. So it's called User Experience Professional Association. I was the board member for Asia for 3 years. I started the initiative for UX in Asia with 5 countries and then became 14 countries. That's all personal capacity. I speak in conferences. I conduct workshops in different continents.
Okay. So, first, why do you choose design as your career? Why do you choose UX
as a career?
Yeah, as your career.
It all makes sense. So I try back my career, I started out as an engineer and I don't like the engineer work. I said, this is not suitable for me. I switched to IT and I still love IT, technology, but something is missing. So I still see, at least my earlier days in a career, even I work in a large MNC, I find a lot of projects are always that feeling they could have been better. Why the software design was not very easy to use and caused a lot of problem and that other stuff, right? And then I also have some background in design, so even back then the dots are not connected for me yet. I still think design is design and tech is tech. When I decided further studies in Australia, this is where I connected the dots. So my professor one of the subject is human-computer interaction, and then the professor, very good professor so through her I see this makes perfect sense. Like UX is a combination of everything, but foundation is to understand people first. So I think that's my calling. When I saw that, then I said this perfect sense. That's why when I came back Singapore, there's no jobs in UX back then, 14, 15 years ago. No mention of UX. So go around, work in one company, say, so why not I start my own company and start something myself. That's how I started then.
Okay.
Since then I never looked back.
Okay. So, can you explain what is UX design and why does it matter?
I'll be honest. this kind of question are not suitable to talk about it because it's been mentioned for so many years. What I truly I think, instead you interview so many people, the problem in I personally find the problem in UX is everybody has his own definition. None of them are absolutely correct and none of them are absolutely right as well, wrong as well. So I highly encourage you go to Google and find this old gentleman called Don Norman, and get to his video when he has one very nice short video explain what is UX. I don't think anybody in the industry now, at least those people who are alive, will debate that what he's saying is wrong. And I think that's the best definition. Is everything that what human interact with is UX. It's not the app that you design, it's not the screen you design. It's part of it, but it's much bigger than that. I'm sure you did research until now. People toy different terms: customer experience, service design, spatial design. All is the same, but the principle is the same. Maybe the context and domain slightly different, but what they're trying to achieve is the same. So I'm not very keen to define what is UX and stuff like that, because then it is again your definition versus my definition. So I think Don Norman is the best.
Okay. So what is design process?
What is design process, or what is our design process?
I think your design process.
What is our design process? Well, everybody has a different, but more or less the principle is the same. If I make it slightly a big bucket, what the business want to achieve, how the customer behave, we find a way to find the middle ground. So that's the upfront. So that is business strategy, user research. These two pieces completed, then we'll start to think about there's many ways of process. So we typically would, like say, we do a prototype, test, find what's wrong, redo the prototype, test what's wrong, redo the prototype, test what's wrong. That's the process. But within this process, there are many different techniques, different ways, really depending what is the constraints. The constraint can be domain knowledge, people you're working with, whether they're good or not, time, money. All these are the constraints. So only this constraint will determine what is the best method to do this process. How long can you iterate? That's generally the process. Most of them, I would say most projects, right? They don't have the patience and don't have the time, don't have the money to say, I want to do many rounds. Typically 1-2 rounds, they will say, okay, done, let's launch. It's practical, right? But the two key processes before any design must understand the business, what they're trying to achieve, and must do user research, understand what users behave. We are less about what users want. It's more to understand what users is behaving, and then we go and think about what are their wants and what are their needs. So we don't do things like ask questions, like do focus group. We don't do focus group. We don't believe focus group help. We do a lot of one-on-one sessions. Yeah, that's the process.
So, how do you work with other designers, developers, or product manager?
How do we work?
Yeah.
Wow, so many ways.
I think just simple can.
Maybe put it in a more high level way and can consider cut across is is the willingness to learn from all these experiments, and with humility to admit that sometimes we do not know enough about customers. So give example, let's say I work with other designers and designers will say, I know what customer want, but this is not the kind of designer I want to work with. It's precisely we think we know, but we think we know, we need to go and validate these things through research. So I don't work with designers who say, you don't understand my design, or I know exactly what customer want. Who are you to critique my design? This kind of designers I don't work. Developers is same in some sense that don't question the way I create the function and features because I know what my customers want, or the important part of this product is how good the function and feature, which I disagree, is actually how much we understand people, because most people don't need that many things, but we always give them too many things. So that's developers. And product manager would be, I only care about my bottom line, whether my product can sell, whether I can deliver on time. But our thoughts is, you can deliver a product on time, but you deliver a wrong product, that is still meaningless. So basically, it's people who are open about learning from customers. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, in your opinion, how important is a portfolio?
For what? For people who needs to find a career in this industry?
Yeah.
How important? It's not a question of important. It's essential.
Essential.
It's like water and blood. You don't have this, don't call yourself a designer. And to certain extent, to your this generation, you got one more challenge is your portfolio is not online, you're also game over already.
Okay.
You must have a portfolio. Then the next question is, what kind of portfolio? Then is the more important question. Rather is, do I need a portfolio?
For example, a general designers, maybe like a motion graphic designers or graphic design. What did people look on portfolio? What did employer
Look for?
look for? Yeah.
If you stop a specific field of more subdomain of design, it may have some difference. But the principle stays the same. But I also can only can qualify to say that the employers who actually know design or understand the value of design and have that expertise. There are still employers who knows nothing but they think they know. I don't consider those because they may only look at things that are superficial. So I'm looking at truly people who understand design and really want to hire potential good designer. Then these are the criteria. It's not about how polished or how beautiful your portfolio is. It's more important to understand what's your thought process. Even those designs that did not do well. So I think one of the common mistakes everybody portfolio means is I want to show my best design. It's the most beautiful design. It's natural like human being want to, you go interview, you dress up to the best you can. But actually people want to know is, end of the day is want to know your true self, right?
Yeah.
Your true self means both your strength and weaknesses. And a lot of people don't show weaknesses. As if I show weaknesses in my portfolio because I did some project did not work well. They feel that they'll be penalized. In some extent, those people don't understand design may only really look at beautiful things only. But employees who really know this thing well, right? And those people who actually went through many years experience know also they have failed before, right? Who never failed before or did somewhat. But more importantly is through those they want to understand, why do you make that decision? How do you rectify this decision? What are the learnings you take away? Because this design there's no fixed thing. There's no like I learned to this level means I know and learn everything. Where design is continuous. So what employers want to evaluate is, what is your learning capacity? Right? So showing some mistakes, showing some of the portfolio that this actually did not do well, but you can explain and you can reflect and say, it's because I don't do this, I don't do this. Now I understand my weaknesses. I'm working on all these weaknesses to make myself better design. And you can show different portfolio at different stage of This is what employers want to see. And they see your true self because they want to see what is your potential, not see what you are now. They are seeing in the future, right?
Yes.
So portfolio must demonstrate that type of thinking. More important. Somewhat demonstrate some good level of common sense. But I have met now, I think I easily met 100,000 plus people in this field. Many people don't have basic common sense.
Basic common sense.
Yeah. We think that it should be so common, but a lot of things the decision they make, this don't make sense. Then when you ask, no, I didn't think about it. So the design is really a lot of live thing, look at things, observe things, absorb it, and make it common sense, and make it until this common sense is really part of you at any point, any time, right? That is when designer become very efficient.
Okay. So, do you have any advice for designer who's just graduating? And what are those?
Is it that considering that people who are graduating out from design schools or from other disciplines? Design schools. Wow, there's so many things you can to give advice. One, maybe the first thing, don't restrict the learning only within the design practice.
Okay.
Go and learn about other things as well. Even you now feel that it may not that directly relevant, it will help you in the future. Things like customer service, things like even you want to work in digital space, then minimum you must understand the tech world, right? Things like writing, good writing. Good writing is very important. People neglect about that. Improve your communication skills, how you present things, how you articulate your ideas. All these are very, very important. But design schools won't teach you all these things. Right? Design schools will teach you the fundamental at the craft level, and that's within the design. But today, designer really need to know a lot of different things. Need to understand human, basically. Right. Yeah, need to understand human. Human in the sense that the behavior, the emotions, why people react certain things, why people are angry certain things, why people are happy with certain things, right? And that kind of maybe sound a little philosophical, but that is where designers thrive, is you kind of understand people. That's one. Never think that the second thing I would say that never think that design is the only thing that matters. I find some designer will think that because we designers, so therefore everybody must listen to me. I'm the center of the earth. Design is increasingly become very important in any part of the world. But to think that design is everything is also a bit naive. Because everything is independent with each other, right? So because once you have the thinking of design is part of something, of everything, the chances of this person will become more collaborative to work with other people and learn new things is higher. And that's only when a good design become I'm curious to learn about other people also. Other advice, spend more time to know different types of people and not only just do your work. So for example, a lot of designers they only hide behind the screen. They feel that their value is about I'm designing something. Let's say use digital or visual design, right? They say they only stay behind the screen and do design. I don't think this can improve the design to a great extent. It's actually really good and know different type of people, understand their lives, understand what the kind of work they do, their challenges and stuff. So you got a broader perspective. Especially at the younger age, this is the best to start. Because at the younger age, I would say when you start to come to workforce, right, if you adopt this mindset, chances are you'll meet more people who are willing to share about what they do than not. They won't guard against you. But people who work in corporate ladder for a long time, right, 30 plus years old, 40 plus years old, right, they are not that willing to share because they don't know what you're trying to get out from me. And then they guard each other, right? So at the earlier days, you start about this kind of this kind of mindset, this kind of approach to understand people more willing to share, you learn faster. That is where you can thrive in some sense better than your peers are. Right? You talk about competition, right?
Yeah.
Academic scores will not going to get you anywhere at all, especially in design. I would say it really apply to any field, yeah. But in particular in design, academic scores really mean nothing, right? It's about what you can do and what can you bring to the table and solve the problem, right? So knowing more people is key, lor. It keep your curiosity strong, Yeah.
Okay. So I think that's it.
Make sense?
Makes sense. So thank you.
No problem. Where are you studying now?